Buenos dias. Buenos dias. I left with bad news, I think. Did I not end up spreading the news that the sun is going to be switching off tomorrow at 3:47? I didn't want to do it, but I just had to I wanted to relay that message that the sun tomorrow at 3:47 is clocking off. I felt bad, I felt terrible, right? And I wanted to put it right, and you are not going to believe I have managed to put this right. At the very same time this is going to be happening, the sun has ramped up its solar flare activity. So we find ourselves in chess terms, it could be a stalemate. Nobody can move. If the sun is going to disappear at the very same time as it ramps up its solar flare activity, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Anybody? Bueller? 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 Now, I've worked it out. It's like a yin and the yang. Minus and a plus. 10 minus 10. They're going to balance each other out. They're going to counter each other out. So it will all be as it always is. Tomorrow, it's the beginning of not the beginning, it's something that happens gradually. But tomorrow, there's going to start to be, in the northern hemisphere, where you guys are, less light from the sun because of the angle of the spin on its axis. If we are in a round scenario, look, you know how I feel about flat Earth, round Earth, not my thing. I'm just saying, it's the way the Earth is spinning. I am sure that there is an equivalent with the flat Earth theory model. I just don't know that yet, and I can't afford to water this down, right? Speed of light. I came off of the speed of light, and I haven't done the pyramids for a while. I keep thinking that the pyramids will work themselves out when people start to go, hang on, 2.3 million 2.5 ton stones, 25,000 Egyptians. I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. And hasta la vista, baby. Everybody will go, what the? How did we fall for that? But speed of light is a little bit more complicated, isn't it? Because there's lots of invisible, massless, packets of invisible, massless things flying about everywhere. But because they're invisible, and because they're massless, and because the sun is directly behind the moon during a solar eclipse, I've agreed to go on a live podcast, right? I didn't initially because he seems like a nice guy. And we got a little bit of a vibe going. We've had a few right? But in the end, it made sense. He kind of knows about the common sense, what science said, but he thinks he has a case for the photons, or he wants to ask me, look, I don't know, I agree. Initially I didn't want to, then he said something about, you don't want confrontation because, put your money where your mouth is, so I have. So it's on YouTube, the guy's name is, I hope you don't mind Drew, but Epic Drew. There's a number there, I think, Epic Drew. Anyway, on YouTube. Just before I started this, I said to him, set it up, tell me what I need to do. So I don't know how fast, it could even, look, it might be in the next couple of hours, I don't know. After this, I will see if he replied and we'll work it out. Why wouldn't I want to do a live? Do you know what I mean? It's perfect, I do believe, right? Let's not get sidetracked here. We have solar flares ramping up at the very same time as the sun is clocking off. I just say to myself, what a time for the Parker Solar Probe. If it was up there 4 to 5 sun diameters away from the sun, and it's ramping up its solar flare activity, I tell you what, that Parker Solar Probe could have got some more footage caught up in a solar flare. That would have been so cool. At the same time as it disappeared. Look, an opportunity missed. I don't know where that Parker Solar Probe is right now. I do, but I don't in the fantasy world where they say it's doing stuff. So if they could get it up there for tomorrow at 3:47 p.m, I'm sure that would build a few fans up, a few Parker Solar Probe fans. Now, I had to do a quick absurdity count. I started going through stuff. And I just wanted to get a vibe of how humanity is going. You know, this is all TikTok. So here we are. These are the things that I thought were interesting. So let's get that straight. Anybody who was worried about the sun disappearing can rest, knowing it's also increasing its solar flare activity. Should counter each other out. Should be a normal day, just a little bit less light because of the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. $8,000. All you have to do is say, hey, oh, 8,000K bro, or 8K bro, that's it. Hey, 8K bro, here. Something like that. Everybody who's saying it. TikTok page, it will be into the tens of thousands now. And there was loads of people loving it. Hey bro, here, 8K. And the guy was saying, right, boom, you're getting yours, you're getting yours, you're getting yours. There was another link. There was another link that they had to click on. I don't know what that link was, but it could be something like, hey mate, that. It could be something like, when you're in the tens of thousands, and these people love it, loving it. Hook, line and sinker, fishing. They're on. They are loving it. Over here, bro, 8K. And bro is going, you got it. There's going to be a link. I'm thinking, when you that roped in, and you're going to, look, it's 8K. All he has to do is say, just send me $1 from your account, so I know where I'm sending the 8K, just so, and when you've got 10 or 20,000 people, there's a ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I didn't go for the link because I'm nose for these things, okay? Next one, the stars, they have all lined up. The stars have all lined up, okay? Now, this was step 4. Stars have all lined up, and this was step 4. I don't know what steps 1, 2, and 3 were. Was it over a month, over a year, over the last decade, over the last week? When was 1, 2, and 3? We're now at step 4. But we caught the tail end of it, because the next step is 5, and it's a reset. So the stars have aligned. It's popular. I didn't stay for too long, right? Because again, the nose, I'm like, okay, so the stars are aligned. That was step 4 of 5, and step 5, which is the next one now, is a reset. A reset for what? Hopefully for common sense and logic and rational thought processes. But you cannot guarantee this. So again, I didn't see it out. I didn't stay in comment. Hey, dude, what is a reset? What are we doing? What's resetting? I kind of left it to the professionals on that one. Now here's one. Buckle up, Dorothy. Oh, what have they done? So CERN, you know, where they collide hypothetical particles together and create more hypothetical particles and theoretical particles. Imagine that. Can you picture 2 theoretical particles colliding? It's difficult, isn't it? Or no, I'm doing a hypothetical and a theoretical colliding, and it's quiet in the tube. I think, because I know light is absolute, because during a solar eclipse there is clearly no light delay, because the sun, it's directly behind the moon, okay? There's no delay. It's obvious there is no delay. It's absolute light. So what I propose, what I think they're doing, is they're trying to slow that bad boy down. They're not colliding. How can you collide something that's absolute? Probably a big discotheque down there. They're probably having these warehouse raves. Doo, 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 doo. The ones that we used to have in the 90s. That's what they're doing at CERN. Brian Cox goes there. He was in a band. Got to read in between the lines. They are trying to slow light down, if anything, because that bad boy ain't getting caught. And if you have a collision with two hypothetical particles, it must be more hypothetical particles that come out. You do theoretical versus theoretical. Theoretical. You do theoretical versus hypothetical. What do we get? A photon. That's the way I look at these things, right? They defy common sense because light is clearly absolute. Epic Drew, remember? Live podcast or whatever it is we're doing. Now, AI. CERN's AI, because CERN has artificial intelligence for emergencies. Guys, stop. AI begged the scientists. Guys, stop. What happened? The scientists overrode AI. But AI, being AI, was in a position to override the initial override that was overriding him. I say him, it could be her, AI, look. Now the scientists, they were one step ahead and they put themselves in a position to override the already overridden override that AI had overridden. But AI, being AI, had another back door in place, and it was an override of the overridden override that override the initial overridden overdrive, not overdrive, override. Then the scientists came back, but they didn't put themselves in a position to be able to override the override that was overridden before the first override that was overridden by AI. So it's kind of, AI seemed to have won, because when it overrid the first override, all the overrides were overridden apart from the initial override, and that was the one that AI overrode. So get this, seconds later reality shifted. So all of that stuff, all of the overriding the overridden overrides, there has been, there anyway, a shifted reality. It's a thing, it's on TikTok. It has to be a thing, all right? So that is a worry, right? When you read something like this, or you see the video, I'm just trying to condense it, this is what's happened, you don't like to see that reality is shifted. Not even for them, in the CERN thing, the absurdity, right? So that's a little bit unsettling, right? But I'm afraid it's not. We have NATO strikes. So NATO has hit Russia, all right? It's on TikTok. So NATO, I don't know if it was hypersonic ones. There probably won't be any actual footage, and if there is footage, it won't be of that place in that time. It's probably somewhere else at a different time. But it's over TikTok. And you know it's on TikTok. Right? So NATO strikes Russian cities. Don't panic, y'all, okay? Don't panic. It's going to be okay. Now, some of you on your TikTok travels might have seen a post about a mirror protocol. If you did, if you have this is a mirror protocol, you have been pinged. Your account has been pinged. Now, I was going to get involved in the comments, but I thought, no. So I stayed back quietly in the dark corners, right? Now, the people who see these things, I was lucky. Just by seeing it means I was activated. They activated me for some reason. So anybody who sees it is a little bit special, all right? Now, I don't class myself as being properly activated because of the way it happened. It didn't happen in the normal flow of things. I kind of forced it because I was looking for absurdities. And when it came up, I jumped on it. I don't think that can class as my account being pinged or them activating me, because I was searching for it and it just popped up as a massive absurdity. So I'm thinking everybody else will be special. You've been activated. It's the mirror protocol. What will happen? You follow the guy's lead, probably drop you a link. I don't go to the link because I don't deserve to be there, because I forced it. It was an absurdity. I jumped on it and I jumped back immediately. But you guys, if you've seen it, you've been pinged, your account has been pinged, you've been picked out of everybody on the planet, okay? It's a big deal. Go for the mirror protocol. Let us know how it went, okay? All of these things happening. GTA. I don't play games. I don't have time to play games. But when I do, a couple of hours of GTA Online, it rocks my boat, floats my boat, rocks my world. I like GTA. I don't mind gaming for a couple of hours here and there. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's new stuff, and I didn't even know there is new content, new safe houses and stuff like that. 12 mil to buy apparently, and because I'm sat with 100 and something million, and I'm a level 600 and something, and I've never bought a shark card in my life. That is grinding. That is since it started. 8, 9, 10 years, I'm not sure. So I might do a live over the next couple of days, just for a couple of hours, just to buy a safe house and do one of the missions, because I do miss my little few hours here and there on GTA. I will probably do that on Rumble. I did it a couple of weeks ago, just an hour, and it was good on the Rumble site on the platform. So I might just do that over the next few days. So join me on Rumble, Indigo C1, okay? Indigo, capital I, Indigo, capital C, Uno, 1. It's a good site. We're treated like adults. Now, I think that is going to be it. We must be near the 15. 18, he's gone over. Now what do we do? We don't do anything. We've got everything, haven't we? Sun's going out tomorrow at 3:47. Luckily, we have a solar flare ramping up. So the solar flare activity on the sun is ramping up at the same time as it's clocking off. So it's going to be interesting. 8 grand to all. Hey bro, 8K here. Look, somebody's giving away $8,000 to everybody that says 8K bro on TikTok. You know it's real. That's why there's thousands and thousands of people going, over here, yo, 8K bro. Why not? Got to get into it. The stars have all aligned, and that was a step 4 of 5. So we're now at the reset, but I didn't stay. Again, I've got a nose for these things. Like, I was looking for absurdities, and I found them. So reset, preset. I'll let them deal with it, and then they can let us know how they go. CERN's AI bent scientists to stop the collision, but they didn't. What were they colliding? 2 hypothetical particles, and seconds later, reality shifted. I don't know if it was 2 hypothetical particles, but there is a lot of hypothetical and theoretical stuff that goes on there. Like, not real, but, make believe. And if they have had a collision with 2 make-believe particles, anything could have happened. Some of them twist one way, some of them spin and do a backflip and only have mass when they're spinning in a certain direction. So when you collide, anything hypothetical and theoretical, and they're in the same chamber, anything can come out. Anything, which is maybe why reality has shifted over there. NATO strikes Russian cities. Look, sorry for that, Russia. I actually wore a NATO beret, peacekeeping forces, when I went to Yugoslavia. There you go, Bosnia in 1992. Peacekeeper. Useless information, okay? So, NATO, naughty. Again, don't panic, folks, because this was me looking for absurdities. So, you know, keep it all nice and tight, okay? That's the thing. If you follow me, I've got an eye for it. An eye for absurdities. If anybody wanted to know if something was an absurdity, you could just say, hey, Paul, this. And I will go, defies logic and common sense because of this, and obviously that. That would be one of the benefits of following me. If you do follow me, please come to Rumble, because nothing is doctored there. I post and my followers get a message and they can watch what I post. As long as I don't do puppies over with an axe and stuff like that, you're allowed to post. There's a fly down there. I'm gonna brace, see if I can. Oh, it's like 20,000 flies there now. Right, and mirror protocol activated. If you see that, you have been pinged, your account is being pinged, you are a little bit special and they have activated you. I saw it, but I forced the absurdity onto myself, so I stepped back. Somebody can take my place. Let me know how the mirror protocol goes. I'm interested. And a little bit of GTA sometime this weekend to buy some of the new stuff. Because look, if you don't use it, you lose it, don't you? So, guys, that's about it for now. Epic Drew, ready when you are. So I don't think you'll mind. More people that know about this, the better. You're going to try to diss me, and I will hopefully make you see how valuable common sense is. And one thing about this, excuse me, I did initially ask people for an explanation for how a solar eclipse can work with finite light. Light with photons traveling at 299,792 kilometers per second. Nobody could come up with an explanation, not a logical one, far from it. There was none. There can be no one because there is no logical explanation. So then I jumbled it all around and then asked people, drop the explanation down. How would a solar eclipse play out with absolute light? Now this is what put the cat amongst the pigeons, because now what do? They didn't have explanations for finite light, and the ones that did come were a bit Mickey Mouse, if I'm honest, okay? But then the genius idea, please drop your explanation for how a solar eclipse would play out with absolute light. So now they can't, because all they have to do is, it's the way they play out right now. So that was a great move, right? Great move. Yeah, so that will be it. So maybe a live podcast, but I'm not sure what Drew does, but I will be there with bells and whistles on, ready to show him how important common sense is. Happy Saturday, and let's rock and roll with the science. Layers.